Netflix is gearing up to launch its original series, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. But the story of a 16-year-old witch awakening her magical power and leading a double life is nothing new. From comics to live action, TV movies to animated series, Sabrina Spellman has been through it all. What's up, guys? For Nerdwire, I'm Kris Carr, and today I'm going to get you ready for The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina by giving you the complete history of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Comics. Sabrina first appeared in Archie comics, specifically in Archie's Madhouse number 22, back in 1962. Her comic story is pretty much the through line for her appearances across media. Sabrina Spellman is a half-witch who had an ordinary human or mortal mother and a warlock father. Sabrina lived with her witchy aunts Hilda and Zelda in Greendale, in a town close enough to Riverdale that Archie's football team could play against them. Also living with them is Salem Saberhagen, a warlock who's been turned into a cat as punishment for trying to use his powers to achieve world domination. Failing at world domination? What a pussy. She usually has a boyfriend named Harvey Kinkle who's oblivious to his girlfriend being a witch, just like all the other mortals in her life. What's really interesting about this character, who's become so iconic, was initially she was going to be a one-off character in the comics. Due to her popularity, Sabrina continued to be written into storylines and became a staple cast member of the comic series Archie's TV Laugh Out, which ran from 1969 to 1985. Sabrina would get her own solo series in 1971 with Sabrina the Teenage Witch. The series ran for 77 issues. A new Sabrina comic series came out shortly after the live-action series that interwove elements from the television show, including modern fashion, adapting the characters to look more like the actors, and tweaking Salem's personality. The revamps came and went from there. Manga, special issues, a series about young Salem pre-cat life. Sabrina even had a crossover with Sonic the Hedgehog, which is too weird to not talk about, so let's run through that bonkers-ass matchup. Supersonic special number 10 goes like this. In the Sabrina the Teenage Witch series, Sabrina has some beef with another witch named Enchantra. Enchantra looks to other realities, finds Sonic, and teleports him to our world through a supernatural portal and takes control of him. Enchantra also manages to pop over furry fan service characters Sally and Nicole into our universe. I guess because they wanted something for everyone to masturbate to? Anyway, a possessed Sonic bursts into Sabrina's house and causes a ruckus. Sabrina teams up with Sally and Nicole to try to help Sonic get back to his old self, and Salem just kind of fanboys. Apparently he's a big Sonic fan. But who isn't? Back to the plot at hand. Basically, all this fuss is caused because Sabrina spelled Enchantra's name wrong on a school report, and sends everybody back to where they belong. Oh, and Sonic forgets this whole thing ever happened. What was the point, y'all? For why? Of course, not all of the comics are insanely pointless. Take Netflix's inspiration for their new show. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina series was super creepy and amazing. Let's talk about that because the storyline is a little less sugar honey than Sab's usual Archie origins. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina series was published by Archie Horror, an imprint of Archie Comics starting back in 2014. This series was a drastically darker take on Sabrina Spellman's teenage years, and was launched after Sabrina appeared in another horror Archie series, Afterlife with Archie. And those comics are why I'm always surprised at people reacting to Riverdale's dark turns. Pick up a book, casuals! They're about so much more than malts and boy drama now! But there's still malts and boy drama, so I love it. Revisiting her swinging 60s origins, Chilling Adventures is set in the 1960s with a few tweaks to her story. On her 16th birthday, she must choose to live as a mortal or become a full-fledged witch. Also, she can't let any mortals, including Dreamboat Harvey, know that she's a witch. Doing so is a serious crime. In fact, her cousin Ambrose revealed himself to mortals and is now forbidden to set foot outside the Spellman home. During this crucial moment in Sabrina's life, Madame Satan, a jilted ex of her estranged warlock father, is back from hell and wants revenge. Oh, and Sabrina's dad made her mom go nuts. So, healthy relationship examples abound for our girl. It's a far cry from the normal fun-loving Archie comics. The live-action movie and pilot. Sabrina has gotten her fair share of screen time as well, thanks to the series made popular by Melissa Joan Hart. Most don't know, though, that the show was first made into a TV movie that aired on Showtime. In the Showtime movie, we follow the same 16-year-old gaining power storyline, but what makes this one better is Ryan Reynolds is in it. 90s baby fresh from Canada, Ryan Reynolds. He plays Seth, the hottest guy at school who Sabrina is desperately crushing on, and who happens to be dating resident mean girl in chief, Katie Lamore. Honestly, have you ever met a nice Katie? With her new powers, Sabrina does what any teenage witch would do. Notice me, senpai! Stupid Katie discovers Sabrina's secret and plots to let everyone know about her. Sabrina turns Katie into a poodle, because our girl knows a bitch when she sees one. Now, if you have to use magic to get a guy to notice you, he's probably not the one. And honestly, Seth is a pretty big sleazeball. Waiting in the wings the whole time has been an adorkable Harvey. pining for Sabrina. He likes her and wants her to notice him, and she was trying to get someone to notice her so she didn't notice. Oh, 90s teen movies, you with your shenanigans and your misconnections. The live-action series. This movie served as a backdoor pilot for the series we'd all come to know and love, Clarissa Explains the Occult. Sabrina the Teenage Witch. We kept MJH in the title role, but changed everybody else entirely. And honestly, I can't blame them. Ryan Reynolds needed to be free to get that sweet, sweet two guys, a girl, and a pizza place money. I do miss sweet, smart Harvey, though. Kinkle was reimagined on the show as a totally sweet, but totally stupid guy. But hey, a lot of girls go through that date the hot dumb dude phase. The smart ones pivot to funny nerds. The series ran for 4 seasons on ABC as part of the killer TGIF lineup before making the switch to the WB. If I'm being 100% honest, I beg you, do not watch those WB seasons. 5, 6, and finally 7 took Sabrina off to college. Her aunts are in the show for a while as coffee shop owner and a professor at her uni, and she gets a new group of friends like you do when you go off to school, but it all just falls flat. The writers wanted to make the show more grown-up, so they ditched Harvey back at home. They're backpedaled, bringing Harvey back into her life by the end of season 5, and returned him to a series regular for the final 2 seasons. By then, the Spellman aunts ditched the show, and it just didn't feel the same, and probably should have ended with Sabrina graduating high school. That being said, I'll always love it for the theory that Jerry Springer is a witch. The cartoon series. Despite fizzling out towards the end of its run, Sabrina the Teenage Witch had a huge following. Sabrina got a few movies and got several animated series as well. This wasn't the first time Sabrina was animated, though, and it wouldn't be the last. There was a series that had a brief run in the 1970s, spinning off the popular Archie animated series, as well as the 2013 CGI abomination with Ashley Tisdale voicing Sabrina. Never heard of that one? Why would you have? It's hot garbage. That one features Sabrina once again living 2 different lives. Her awkward teen existence in the mortal realm, and her time in the magical realm. Only this time, she's a witch princess, destined to rule the realm, and Salem is no longer Sabrina's familiar. Rather, he's a spy sent by the evil Enchantra to make Sabrina's life miserable. I didn't know this show existed, and frankly, am super upset by the animation and the everything of it. No surprise the show only lasted 26 episodes. The animated series most of us are familiar with is the one MJH's little sister Emily Hart took the role of Sabrina on. Don't worry, MJH was still there playing the aunts. The series ran for 65 episodes on ABC and led to a TV movie, additional series, albeit with a completely new vocal cast. The animated series, despite being created in response to the popularity of the live-action 90s series, contradicted the television show and opted instead to follow Archie comic canon. Now, with a pretty extensive history of all of Sabrina's that have come before, what can we expect from the new Netflix series? Obviously, with the name coming from a grittier comic series, and based on the footage released thus far, we can anticipate a much darker live-action take on the Teen Witch. We know for sure we're getting a Madam Satan, so we can look forward to a super balls-up storyline about her dad's ex, her mom being nutso-butso, and her dad pretty much sucking. The show appears to be set in modern day with a retro filter a la Riverdale, but who knows? Producers have been keen to retract initial statements that Sabrina Spellman would make a Riverdale appearance, but when you're creating a show about magic, looks like you can do anything. She hung out with Sonic the Hedgehog for f***'s sake. I'm still not over that. Now that you know all things Spellman, you're set to judge the crap out of the new Netflix series. Any important Sabrina facts I missed? Are you excited for this new take on our favorite teenage witch? Well, let me know in the comments below. For more videos, click over there or watch us on Roku. Thanks for watching. See you, Space Cowboy.